Yo.
Hey, it's Meltdown here in Detroit. How you doing, man?
Hey, Meltdown. Yeah, I'm good, dude. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Where are you?
So I'm in North London in my little apartment, and it's pouring down with rain, which sucks.
Isn't that kind of par for the course out there?
Well, yeah, I guess, but I mean, the weather in the UK is often pretty bad, but last couple of weeks has been like really beautiful and sunny and stuff, which has made lockdown kind of, when you're stuck in your flat and you're looking out your window and it's sunny and beautiful, it kind of makes it easier. But today and yesterday have been so bad, and it's like suddenly I've realized how important having sunlight outside was, how important that was. Anyway.
Well,
doing okay.
I can't give you a better weather report here in Detroit, that's for sure, because it's rainy and 48 outside, so we're both in the same boat. But at least I'm in the studio and I got to leave my house today, so.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was thinking about Riff Fest just before, because obviously we played down with you guys last year.
Yeah.
And yeah. Down, that was a cool day, man. That was a cool day. And I remember specifically, something was going on when we were playing. I can't remember what it was, but the set was great and everything, but something was going on, and then it totally took my concentration, and I totally forgot the lyrics of the second verse of Backfoot. I literally lost the whole verse. I was like, shit. Anyway, yeah.
But you can't remember what got you so distracted?
No, I can't remember. I can't remember what was going on. It was something to do with at the back of where we could kind of see where we were playing. There was a press tent at the back. Something was going on. I can't remember what it was. I just totally lost my train of thought. But it's so crazy. It's so crazy to think about how different. We were playing that festival last year over with you guys in Detroit, and now. It's such a wildly different situation now, and obviously we're meant to be in the States right now with you guys, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's really just a weird time. And I had one of my friends who's half my age there. They go, "Dude, nothing like this has ever happened in my life." I'm like, "Yeah, hello." It's nothing like this ever happened in my life either. But but here we are. So you're in an apartment. I mean, have you been able to go anywhere or do anything outside? Or I mean, what's your daily life like?
Well, I mean, yeah. So I'm in my little apartment. I have a beautiful little apartment in North London. So it's small, but it's really pretty, and I feel really lucky to live here. So there's a park down the road from me, which if I need space, I'll go take a walk up to that park. But on the whole, I've been kind of staying in, just because I want to kind of do the right thing and abide by the rules, and I don't want to get sick, and I don't want anyone else to get sick because of me. Right. So I'm spending most of my time indoors. But like I say, if I need to get out, I'll bust out to that beautiful park and I'll just kind of take some space. But if I'm honest, we're either on the road or off the road. So when we're on the road, it's all guns blazing, long tours, loads of shows, exhausting, fun times. But when we come back off the road, I kind of just usually use that time immediately just to get writing, because I love writing songs, but I always want the records to be as good as they can possibly be, and I kind of believe that that is a result of you just putting in the time of writing and exploring songs and stuff like that. So this lockdown, I'm kind of just treating it like that. I've just kind of gone into writing mode. So every day I'm just kind of slamming into creativity and just exploring songs and kind of working on the next record. So I'm kind of I'm just kind of staying busy with that, trying to use this as a opportunity to be creative rather than see it as a restriction on me, I guess. I'm trying to be no, let's turn this into an opportunity and just kind of get creative.
Yeah, it's funny, just as you're sitting here talking about this, I'm thinking to myself, in 2021 next year, there's going to be two things, a baby boom and lots of records being released, it seems like.
Yeah, dude, that's so true. That's so true.
I just talked to Sully from Godsmack the other day. I'm like, "Are you writing?" He's like, "No, I'm kind of blocked right now. It'd be kind of weird, you know." But there are some other people that are writing and doing stuff, you know. And I've talked to a lot of bands since this whole thing started, and it's just like I said before, it's just a crazy time. But your latest record, Celebrity Mansions, came out last year, and thrash metal cassette is so great because it's like it just reminds me of when I was a kid growing up, you know. And we had all these cassettes all over the place, and you know, you had metal ones. You had obviously like band ones, but then you put your own together and stuff, and you tape stuff off the radio and hope the DJ didn't talk over the song too much or whatever. But talk a little bit about the last record.
Yeah, I mean, like we're really stoked on the last record. I mean, speaking specifically about thrash metal cassette, I mean, it's funny, you know, you talking about like old metal tapes and making your own tapes and stuff, because I mean that's how that song came about, because we were on where the hell were we now? I can't even remember. I think it was the US. It was either the US or Europe, and it was just a gnarly long tour, and we had no music. The drives are so long, we just spent all the music, so the only thing we had left was this Melvins tape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I'm a massive Melvins fan. But like they, Honey Bucket and Houdini and stuff, just amazing stuff. So we were just slamming that record on repeat, and I wrote that song about that experience, and like I guess it must have been the US, because I'm singing about like the El Rey Theater in LA and just that whole experience of just like grueling long ass tours, listening to this one crappy Melvins thing, like going out of your mind. But yeah, dude, I don't know, like that Celebrity Mansions, you know, I wrote that whole record on the road pretty much. I mean, I tied it together when I got off the road, but all those songs kind of were born on the road, and you know, it was largely about the experience of kind of us putting everything into the band and not knowing if it was going to work, I guess. You know, bands kind of doing it how we've done it, because obviously I started the band in 2007. You know, that's a long time ago now. So,
yeah.
You know, bands kind of doing it like us, where you don't suddenly get this kind of, whatever you'd call it, overnight success or like huge upshoot or whatever, and you do it by climbing the ladder and touring and kind of just like surviving, I guess, until an opportunity arises. You know, doing it like that, putting everything into it, and believing in it and all of that, but maybe it's not working, that can be quite a hard sort of experience and sort of journey. So that was sort of what I wrote the record about. Even though like a lot of the record is really fun, the kind of content, the subject matter is kind of, you know, it was pretty tough at times. Like even Backfoot is such a fun song, but you know, it's about feeling like shit, because you know, you're always getting the shit kicked out of you on the road and nothing's happening, you know. So, you know, yeah, the record's just largely about the record's largely about that.
It sounds like it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll from AC/DC about beat up on tour. But you know, hey, you know, I often wonder when I talk to bands from around the world what it's like for them as far as success in the U.S. is concerned. Even bands from Canada and stuff. How much do you really look for success in the U.S.?
I mean, yeah, like having success in the US and touring the US was always a kind of dream of ours. You know, I wonder if that's because we're a UK band and like the dream, as it were, is to be touring the States. I don't know, because you see that in movies, or you like, you know, we're fans of American bands, I guess, more than UK bands, just as it happens. Like all of us guys in Dinosaur are big into the kind of 90s American scene. So like, you know, success in the States is a dream of ours, and like it's important to us, and that was always a kind of ambition of ours. So getting the opportunity to tour the States, play all these radio festivals, all the American rock festivals, you know, do the long ass drives and play with American bands and stuff, like that whole scenario was an ambition of ours. So the fact that we are kind of getting to do it now, you know, we feel very lucky that we can do that. I think we've, you know, we're on our, so had we have been in the States now, I think that would have been like our 11th or 12th US tour, if I remember correctly. So like being able to tour as much as we can is a great opportunity for us, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, for a guy like yourself, like you said, growing up in England and stuff, to you know, that guitar has brought you over here 11 times. That's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, it's cool, man. And like, you know, playing in the States is cool too. Like the American rock crowds are killer, and they really appreciate rock music, and we do tour a lot, like globally, but obviously our focus now is kind of in America. You know, we've been lucky enough to sort of tour loads of crazy places like India and Japan and stuff, but being able to kind of get over to the States like twice a year at least is huge for us. And you know, particularly in the summer when the weather's nice, that doesn't suck either.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the '90s bands and stuff. Like, give us a little bit of the taste of what bands influenced you, like the Weezers and the grunge bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I mean, my whole,
because you can hear it, of course, in your music.
Totally. Yeah. Like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my whole music taste was kind of formed by a really seminal moment where I sneaked into my older brother's room, and I must have been like 9 years old or something like that. And I sneaked into my bro's room, and he just literally had this big old stack of CDs on his table. And that stack of CDs is kind of like my core. It's all my core influences. It kind of still is now. It was like Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, Battle of LA. It was Deftones. It was Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy. It was Nirvana. Foo Fighters weren't in there weirdly, but I ended up hearing them through like where my bedroom was in my house. The dividing wall went into the neighbor's house, and I heard This Is a Call through the wall because they were listening to it on the radio, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, that sounds awesome. So yeah, that's how I found out about the Foos. But yeah, there was a British band in that stack of CDs called Terravision. Do you ever listen to Terravision?
I never heard of that.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. But it was basically like the whole US '90s scene, you know, and like Deftones, Rage, Pumpkins, the Foo Fighters, obviously, they're all still my core. Or Weezer, obviously, they're like my core, like rock influences. They're still. I'm still not bored of them. I'll still play those records, you know. They're my favorite records easily. So, you know, we've been lucky enough to like, even, you know, we, a couple of years back, we toured with Weezer, which was a trip because obviously they're like my, you know, one of my biggest influences. The Blue Album is like one of my all-time favorite records. So getting to hear Buddy Holly live and stuff from behind the stage blew my mind.
Yeah, and then, of course, you know, I was going to ask you if you get a chance to talk to some of these guys. Like, did you ever have a chance to tell Dave Grohl the first time you heard a Foo Fighters song or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the chance to like, meet Dave and tell him, like, you know, how much of a fan I am. That would be a trip, though. But I mean, we've toured with a couple of cool, like, we toured with the Pixies. That was a trip. And obviously, like, Weezer, like I said. And then I mean, from sort of childhood influences, you know, just this December we were over in Canada with The Offspring and Sum 41. And that was a trip too, because, you know, I remember buying Americana and, you know, looking at it in the back of my car, going home and listening to Pretty Fly and, you know, all of that. It's kind of crazy, you know, and it's a trip too, because when you get on the road and those guys are just the nicest guys, like they're just, you know, just super, super lovely, supportive people, that's even nicer, because it's just really refreshing that, you know, you're influenced by these guys' records, and then you end up meeting them, and they're just super nice.
Those guys are really cool. I remember I played Smash when it first came out on the radio. You know,
yeah,
I was 3 or 4 years into my radio career when that first came out. But
wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that Smash, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, was like the biggest selling independent record at the time.
Yeah. I think it. Now, I might be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually think it still is.
It might be.
It was like the highest grossing independent release of all time, and it still is, I think. Because it's funny you mentioned that, because when we were on that tour in December, someone told me that fact, and I was like, wow, when you think about that, that's crazy, because it was released a long time ago now, and it's a great record. That's just, wild.
Yeah,
wild to me.
Hey, so you've been around for about 13 years or so. The band's been around.
Yeah.
Talk about the evolution of the band, Dinosaur, Pile Up, and talk about like how, this is your baby, and do you put a lot of stress and pressure on yourself to kind of keep this thing going?
Oh yeah, for sure, because it means so much to me and the boys. Like, like I said, our journey has been a kind of uphill battle, you might call it. So, like, trying to keep a band going for 13 years on, like, very slim pickings is tough. Like, we've been in some pretty gnarly situations. But we've what's nice is, we went through a lot of hard times and then made Celebrity Mansions and ended up signing to Parlophone Records, which was our first major signing. That was, our first major record. And it was our fourth record, 13 years or 12 at that point, 12 years in. So that was kind of validating for us, because it was, it sort of felt like it was just a nice, like, I don't know, like a little pat on the back maybe for just like hanging in there for so long. So that was cool. But yeah, like the band means so much to all of us in it, and it means so much to our fans too. So it I think often about what I want the band to be, and like how integrity is kind of something that's really important to me and the guys in the band, because I want to still release records that we're super proud of, and I don't want to kind of cut corners on making records. I never really want to make a record where sometimes I listen to records these days and the first 3 songs are dope, and you're like, wow, this is a killer record, and then you get to song 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're like, the rest of it kind of sucks. Like, that's disappointing. I don't want to make records like that if I can help it. Like, it really stokes me when I hear like the fans being like, yeah, every song on this record's great, and that means a lot to me, And even yesterday, I was going through my phone yesterday morning, and I was looking at all the pictures and videos and stuff from tours, and I got to Download Festival last year, it would have been. So we did a short UK run, and then we played Download Festival, and then we flew out to America for 10 weeks, which was our longest tour. That's actually the longest tour we've ever done. And I was just like looking at my phone, and I was looking at these videos from Download and the crowd going nuts. And that was when we just released Celebrity Mansions. So we were playing back foot, the videos of us playing back foot, and we fuck it up. Like we're all over the place on it, because we've only played it live about 6 times before. And we were so nervous about playing it and stuff. And I posted it because I was just like, damn, I kind of wish we were on tour right now. And it just kind of hit me that we weren't touring. And just like the sheer amount of positivity that everyone put in the comments, like all our fans, there wasn't like one bad comment. It was just all positive energy. And that to me means a lot, because I was like, shit, our fans really, really care about the band. It's like their band too. So when I kind of think about that, it makes it even more sort of important to me that I treat it carefully, and that the records that we release are great records, because it's not just us that kind of get happiness from that. It's all of our fans too, and we've had such a long journey that I kind of see it as like a sort of family of sorts now. I kind of want to do well for them, not just us. So I think I don't know, the band is a particularly sentimental and kind of like important thing to all of us. It's not just a band.
You mentioned the fans and stuff, and I wanted to ask you, it's like, what are the challenges entertaining the fans now in this crazy time that we're in? Or I mean, obviously you're doing stuff like this, and I saw. Did you guys did you start a podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I should say right now. I should, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
I think the first episode comes out on Monday, which was stoked. Yeah. So we've recorded a couple of episodes. It comes out on Monday.
What's it called?
We're gonna drop the name on Monday.
Okay, I got you. All right, so I mean, so now it's like you're talking about this, and it sounds to me like the fans of your band and you are kind of like one. You're like this team, and you're trying to, So how is it now entertaining and being in contact with the fans? How has that changed under this lockdown quarantine situation? What are some of the challenges of it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because even to you as well, it's suddenly like we've taken on this whole new scenario where, everybody's trying to figure out a way to kind of connect more. I mean, I keep on getting a lot of shit from my team and stuff, because like I was saying before, I've kind of gone into writing mode. And when I go into writing mode, I kind of just like shut down into hibernation. I mean, this is classic me. Like Mikey and Jim in the band know this like the back of their hand. Like every time I'm writing, I just kind of disappear for a while. So obviously right now, that's the worst thing I can be doing for the fans and stuff. I'm just like nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad. But I guess the change is it's doing stuff like this. People want to connect to you, I guess, by seeing your face and you talking with them like we're talking now. For someone like me, that can be weird sometimes, because I don't know if I'm like the best video social media dude in the world. Sometimes I can be quite a private person. So having to like totally flip that on its head and be online all the time and outward facing the whole time is kind of strange. But I think it's about, just kind of accelerating your creativity again and just outputting as much as you can. Considering we're not playing shows, so all the fans that should have been seeing us like in person, they can't see us anymore and we can't see them. So it's like things like us making a podcast. That's a totally different side to the band that our fans have never seen before. It's like us talking about stories on the road that they would have no idea about, or us talking about our thoughts on whatever. Like it's interesting stuff that, like, I guess we maybe wouldn't have done without this lockdown happening, because it's kind of forced us to do something, which is kind of cool. It's a weird time. And I kind of feel like, when shows start happening again, which I hope is sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's kind of changed the landscape a little bit, because maybe people like me that wouldn't do so much video stuff now kind of will, because everybody's had to kind of start changing the way they do stuff. So,
well, when I told my dad I was coming to talk to you, the first thing he said was, "What's the name of the band?" And the second thing, my dad's like in his 70s, but anyways, and I said, I go, we're doing these Instagram live interviews, and these things are really cool. I don't know why we didn't do this before.
Yeah, I know, dude. I said the same thing to. I was talking to my managers in the US the other day, and now we're like FaceTiming. When we catch up, we FaceTime.
Right.
And I'm looking at my guys, and I'm like, why fuck didn't we do this before? It's way better. So nice to sort of see each other. I
keep saying with some of these bands I'm talking with, it's like right now we're farther apart than ever, but it's almost like we're closer because all these bands are doing all this stuff. I mean, just yesterday I'm on my Facebook and Dave Ellefson pops up and starts talking about whatever, and it's like these kind of things. And, I've contacted some of my friends for my own podcast, my Talk and Rock podcast. I'm like, hey man, you guys want to come on, just talk about what you're doing? Oh yeah, sure, no problem. And, and then they just hop on. So it's kind of we keep saying it, but it is bizarre for sure.
Yeah. One thing I keep on thinking about is like, I feel like maybe before this happened, when people would present themselves or whatever, like on Instagram Live or on a post or whatever, people would maybe like present themselves in a certain way, or they'd be looking good, or they'd have a background or whatever. But because we're like now just in a lockdown, no one has any fucking clothes or whatever. Like everyone's just on the internet looking like shit the whole time. I'm kind of into it because it's a bit more real, Like I quite like that we've had to sort of take away the veil of whatever it was, and now people are just like, still in their PJs at 4 p.m. eating cereal, doing Instagram Live or whatever. I'm down with it.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to John Cooper from Skillet the other day, and he's in like his like I don't know what you call it, his library room or whatever. It's like I never saw that room before. He's doing all this stuff. So, hey, we've taken enough of your time. One final question here for you. I guess I'm going to throw this one out at you. The Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Oh, the Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles. I'm with you on that one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I love the Stones. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Kinks, however.
Oh.
I'd throw that into the mix because I'm a massive Kinks fan. Like, love the Kinks.
One of my favorite songs from the Kinks, and I might be in the minority here, is the Christmas one. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I think that song was so great, but one of my friends challenged me with like putting up, your 10 records that mean something to you or whatever on Facebook. You may have seen stuff like that, but it's like, today I got Sgt. Pepper's. And if you go back and look at that record and how it was made and how it sounds all these years later, it's just like an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, dude. I mean, totally. What was the, shit, I can't remember this now. We used to cover a Beatles song. So years and years and years ago, when we did that Pixies tour, at the time, Please Please Me. You know that Beatles song, Please Please Me? We on that Pixies tour we were covering that. It was rad actually. Like we made it super heavy. It was killer.
That's a killer cover of Dire Straits you guys do.
Money
years back.
Yeah. Money for Nothing, yeah. And we just did we just covered Run DMC It's Tricky, which is super dope. Yeah. It's really killer. It's on. I think it's going to be globally available in a couple of months or something. Right now, it's on Amazon Music, but eventually, it's going to be everywhere. But that was dope too. Like doing, because no one saw that coming, and yeah, that was super fun.
Well, that's cool. Well, man, it's been great talking to you, man. Hopefully, you can get back over here into the States sooner rather than later, like you were saying, and be safe over there and keep up the great work. And I guess maybe in 2021, a new record.
Yeah, I guess I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So maybe next time we talk, or at least next time we're in the same room together, maybe we'll be talking about, I don't know, new stuff I wrote right now.
Could that Tricky be on the next record?
You know what? I would love it to be. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. But if it was up to me, it would be, because it's freaking rad. But anyway.
That would be killer. Well, listen, man, enjoy the rest of your day. What time is it over there?
Like 5 p.m.?
Okay, all right, yeah, because it's just lunchtime here at 12:30 or so. I wasn't sure. So, well, thank you so much for getting on here with us.
Nice, dude. Yeah, you too. You take care, okay?
All right, brother. Thanks so much, man.
Later.